Good morning, everyone, and welcome back again for this session. Very excited. Thank you, Patrick, for being here. You
Welcome,
are
everyone.
the creator or initiator of the blind spots indicator. So today we're going to talk about it. We have a lot of questions that have come through in the last few weeks on how to use it, what it is, what it does, and why is it relevant. So the goal of today's session is really to go over the blind spots level indicator, the assets that we cover with the indicator, and then, of course, answer any question that the audience might have. But let me know if you want to add something to that, and yeah, let me know if you want to if you want me to start.
Everything is good. So I will explain after you, and I think we have some slides, so that's some background information about this. But I can give you some background information why I came into the idea about the blind spots, so then it becomes much clearer for you. So think about as a day trader, like you're trading the NQ or you're trading the ES. Mostly you're watching different assets. You're looking into, if you're trading NQ, you're looking into SPX, you're looking into QQQ, you're looking into NVIDIA, you're looking into Tesla, and you're looking to some different stuff like Wix. And at the end, you have, I don't know, 5, 6 different charts open at the same time. But the problem is, so your eyes looking from charts to charts, and you are not focused maybe on the chart where it's really important, and that's the NQ chart where you execute it on based. And I was coming to the idea, hey, this would be cool if we can put all the levels from all assessed what highly correlated to each other in one area, so that I have not to watch any more different chart windows. And this was basically the born of the blind spot levels value.
Yeah, absolutely. And exactly. So like, I think it goes back to the history. So we launched our futures gamma levels in May 2024. Before that, we had gamma levels on indices, ETFs. So a lot of our traders that were looking at SPX were actually trading using ES. So the first iteration of why we started developing the blind spots is really like, hey, I'm trading futures. The data is coming from the index. I want to be able to connect the data from the index on the future. But then we went one step further because we're talking about correlation. So what you see here is really what the blind spots indicator is. So it's about correlation, it's about volatility changes, it's about option positioning on assets that are correlated to each other that would potentially bring a strong reaction to the price. So the example that I always give is if you trade NQ and you don't pay attention to the Max 7 or NVIDIA, then you're basically trading by not looking at something that could have a very strong effect on the Max 7. So we had, I don't know if you remember this session, Patrick, we had a session where we were going live during the NVIDIA earnings. This was probably 6-7 months ago, and NVIDIA dropped around a very important option level. The price rejected, and NQ skyrocketed to the upside on that move exactly at the same level. So understanding where these areas are can be very, very important, and that's why we develop the blind spots. The blind spots appear as, again, lines on your chart, but they carry a very, very strong importance on the back of it. It's not just a line on a chart, it's actually a lot of data coming from the back end that allows us to design those areas. With the new Forex levels, we actually created a more complex version of the blind spots that will also be soon released to other assets like stocks and ETFs. So now we're going to show you also what asset we cover. But basically, like you see the power of cross-asset correlation, option positioning directly onto your chart in a very, very simple format. So simple lines on your chart, very, very easy to understand. Why is it important? Again, like Patrick mentioned, you are trading one asset, which is NQ, but you need to be paying attention to a lot of other assets. So for example, how does gold affect NQ? How does crude oil affect NQ? Or how does anything that could happen in the world, like something happening in Asia, something happening in Europe, how can that affect the price of NQ? So we are basically creating an indicator that takes a lot of complex data, simplifies it, allows you to have a comprehensive view of the market. So you can use gamma levels, but you can also use blind spots to understand where are the areas that you should be focusing on. It's purely based on data, so it's not based on emotions, and it can really help you to understand how to manage risk and how to manage take profit target and so on. So if we now go into the chart, show this. So first of all, what asset do we cover? So blind spots are available, and let me make this bigger, are available on futures, ETFs, major ETF like gold, USO, and then also on our Forex pairs. So we recently, a month ago, released our blind spots level on Forex as well. So those are also available there. Why is this important? So the first example that we always give is the Dow Jones, right? So let's imagine that you trade the Dow Jones and you come to us and it's like, I want to see option positioning on Dow. There is no option activity on Dow Jones on the future. So there are no direct gamma levels on the future. So what we have here is the blind spots level indicator that are available on YM. You could also convert gamma levels on YM, but the blind spots allows you to have a very more holistic picture. And as you can see here, we have a strong reaction and rejection of our BL4 here. So this was a very, very important trigger point for Dow today. We're now coming back and we now see clustering effect around BL1, which is another very, very important area. So again, having those on your chart can really help you with risk management. And again, if we take those away, where do you see the price stopping? Where can you like start taking profit? Where you can plan a reversal trade right there?
And that's a good point, Fabio, what you were saying. And one thing, what I was observing through the time is, and I was not sure about this in the beginning, it's really crazy. If you plot the gamma levels together with the blind spots, maybe you use SPX, maybe you use NQ, whatever, you will always see when a blind spot is supporting some gamma level, this acting as a really strong magnet. We cannot tell you if this goes up or if this goes down, but that's a strong magnet. And you were seeing this really also today. So if you use your rectangle and you map this out on your chart, you get a nice area of interest for your trade ideas. Exactly. Look at this on your chart, the BL7, the call resistance ULDTE. So this was acting as a really strong magnet. Of course, we're going through this. But this was a sign for me that, hey, this gamma level, we have to take attention on because a blind spot is supporting the gamma level. And in the moment where you understand this, it becomes much easier if you plotting your gamma levels, if you're plotting your blind spots together, look where the blind spots supporting the gamma levels, and then use the rectangle, and you will see during the market, this will be reacting as strong magnet, and it comes to this area.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, the way you can use this is like we have a lot of users that use them standalone, but a lot of users like Patrick in this case, where they use them in conjunction with the gamma levels, right? So having them both on your chart can be very, very important. You can also, again, draw them, like you can have those reaction areas, you can map out these areas. And then of course, now if we add this level, then we have a very interesting kind of area, which is coming from combining gamma levels and blind spots together. we can also look at other assets. For example, we can look at QQQ, and we can see how those are reacting together. So again, very, very important. And once we break through those areas, we see obviously here was a very strong inflection point, broke through BS7. Above here, we had our core resistance. We can look at SPX.
Yes, 100% true.
And then
I think Fabio, one point what people asking always is, hey, why the blind spot having some number? So what's the difference between BL1 and BL10, and what's the difference between GEX1 and GEX10? And they become confused about this. Maybe we can explain this in a really simple term also.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's start with the gamma levels, right? So if we look at the gamma levels, we have 10 gamma levels. We show you the top 10 gamma levels. Within gamma levels, GEX1 would be the level with the highest net gamma exposure. And then second would be GEX2, third would be GEX3. So the gamma levels are ranked by gamma exposure relevance. So GEX1 would be a stronger reaction area than GEX10, for example. So if we come into our chart, you can see those levels by looking at the net gamma exposure chart. So when you look at this chart on any of the asset, those wide green bars would become our GEX1 to 10, right there. So the wider the bar, the bigger the gamma, the net gamma exposure. So the more important the level would be. So the highest bar would be GEX1, GEX2, GEX3. When we look at blind spots, this is a little bit different because I think the numbers are not as important compared to the GEX level. So it doesn't mean that BL1 is stronger than BL10. It means that there are more overlapping areas of levels on BL1 compared to BL7 or BL8. But at the same time, it could be that a BL8 blind spot level could actually have a very strong reaction because maybe it's at the very, very key option level from the underlying asset that we look at. So I would use blind spots. Don't focus really on the number, just focus on where they are and how they relate to price action.
And also, Fabio, I think overlapping makes is a word what makes the people a little bit confused. So what is overlapping? I get this question all the time. What do you mean with overlapping? I would say, hey, think about overlapping as correlation. So blind spot 1 has the most correlation, and blind spot 10 have less correlation. But this doesn't mean that the less correlation is really strong. So think about correlation in this case.
Absolutely. And no, that's exactly true. So I think, I agree. And the way I use them is I use them in conjunction with the gamma levels. And as you said, you can either have them both on your chart. You can draw the areas directly with your drawing tools right here. And then if you then want to hide the levels, then you can do that by doing that. And then you have your area right there. And then very, very simple. That can give you an idea where the price action can go.
Yes, 100%. I agree with this. And that's the beauty of the blind spots. So, and people get always confused and asking, hey, Patrick, if we be on call resistance, did we break this, or should we going short? Did we should going long? And of course, we cannot answer the question because it's depend on the market condition. It's depend on the price action, and it's a question if we be in a real market condition. But if I see that on the call resistance and blind spot is, so that blind spot is supporting the gamma level, like blind spot and call resistance, I know exactly, hey, the call resistance is now a really strong area, not because of there's the gamma level, of course, of this, but I know also there's a highly correlation on this area. So this means for me, hey, be really careful. Think about the pin risk. If we come in this area, there's a highly opportunity that we pin on this area, or second is a highly opportunity that's reacting as a strong support and resistance area. This is how I'm understanding it.
And it's also important to understand that, by simplifying the read, so by having lines on a chart, you are simply visually is a very simple visualization because you have levels that are plotted there, but it's important to understand the complexity that goes on the back end, because again, there's a lot of data that gets taken into consideration. There's a lot of assets that we take in consideration. There's a very, very important correlation matrix that goes into consideration. So I think you are basically viewing the output of a very, very complex algorithm that can give you a really good edge in the market.
Yes. And one of our main goals is always, Fabio, and this is why I'm like MenthorQ so much, and I'm happy to be a team of this. We simplify always stuff what could be really complicated. And this is something what helps us to simplify our explanation of the blind spots.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we have a question. Can you explain the asset classes chosen for the blind spots, let's say for SPY or QQQ? So we don't provide the details. So the asset that we use are part of the proprietary model. But the idea behind it is that we use basically asset that would have an impact on the asset that you trade. So if you trade ES, you can potentially understand that we are looking at asset that could impact ES, like Max 7, like the sector ETF, but then also other assets that have a strong correlation to ES. So although we don't share the details of the calculation because it's part of the proprietary model, basically that's the idea behind it. So any asset that could potentially have an impact on ES could potentially be considered as part of the blind spot level calculation. I hope that makes sense.
Yes. That's always the question what we get. Hey, can you tell us how we calculate the blind spot? So no, in this case, it doesn't work like this. So the only thing what we can say is what Fabio is saying. Hey, we're looking really to highly correlated assessed, and then we're looking for nice overlapping areas.
Yeah, and the other interesting part is, especially for those, and we can go and look at, for example, other assets. But again, crypto, we have blind spots on MBT. We're soon going to have it also on the spot crypto ticker. But again, very, very strong reaction area. So here, just by looking at the blind spots, this would have been a really nice area. Again, you can overlay that with the gamma levels to potentially spot congested area. But again, and also you can also draw your roadmap very, very easily. If we look at other assets like currencies, for example, the blind spots become super valuable because the market is fragmented. So we now have very strong tool that can allow our Forex customer, Forex traders to potentially trade with a lot of confidence because of this new methodology that we developed for our currency market. So as you can see, very strong. Price dropped exactly at the blind spot, reacted exactly at the blind spot 4, and now it's kind of like in a range.
And I think, Fabio, it's not that we are drawing the lines now. So can you explain for the people, well, when the levels be available? Because and then maybe put some line on your chart so that we can see on the point you get the information and to see how the market reacts based on the levels. Because everything looks so nice and beauty, But guys, it was not there before. So the market was not showing us the direction before. So we was only predicting the blind spots, but it's looking so nice and beautiful now.
Yep. So the blind spots update at 11 p.m. Eastern, Monday to Friday. They are also delivered via the dashboard. So like, for example, if you were to come down here and you have your blind spots levels, they will show up at the end of the dashboard here. So here you have your blind spots, and you can always go back in time. So you can go and view the blind spot from yesterday, from a day ago, 3 days ago, and so on. So you can always, like, if you want to run some back testing, the data is there and it's changing every day. Yeah, so there's total transparency there. This is the data. If you look at our Forex blind spots, again, you come on the levels. These would be the levels for today, the one that I'm showing you. The levels are added automatically in the indicator, but again, you could actually add the historical level as well if you wanted to do some back testing. So if we wanted to, for example, go back to yesterday, these are the blind spots. I can come into my indicator, I can add them here, and then simply go over it. And again, this was yesterday, so these are the levels that we just imported. Strong reaction BL2, and then all the way to BL7 again. So
yes, the Forex one is a really beauty one. It's a beauty calculation. I would say that's blind spot 2.0.
yeah.
And really soon we will doing some really nice stuff also on the other ones.
Yeah. So here you have, these are the level from yesterday. So clearly the top was there, the bottom was all the way to this blind spot 1 level, and then yeah, the very, very strong reaction here.
And MG65, to answer your questions, no, that's absolutely not correct. So it doesn't mean that BL10 have 10 assess classes or something like this. So this means like what Fabio was really saying in the wording. So we see on BL1 most overlapping, most correlation, and on BL10 we see less correlation and less overlapping from all the baskets where we're looking for.
Yeah.
But again, so on the blind spots, and this is what I'm saying always in the pro group to my people. Don't look to the numbers. It makes absolutely no sense. See the blind spots as blind spots. And I remember when we was developing this, Fabio, there was first it was not there that we was having numbers like BL1 or BL10.
Yeah.
And then we came to the discussion, hey, it would be much better to having numbers like from like what we're doing on GEX 1 to 10. So
Yeah.
basically that we can developing the indicator where we can select, so people won't see maybe only blind spot 1 to 5 and not blind spot 10, because they believe or they observe or they trust more blind spot 1 to 5, and they don't care about blind spot 6 to 10. So this was one of the main reasons why we was giving them numbers. But I can tell you from my perspective, don't look to in the numbers. It will be confused you.
Yeah, exactly.
Because this doesn't mean that this is less important. Important is always what is in the play, guys. So it's the same if you're looking to the gamma levels or to the to the major ones like call resistance, put support, high vol. So it becomes only important, the levels are only important who are in the play. So maybe in the play is now BL10, call resistance, and GEX5. So then at the moment, these three levels are important. And I don't care about what 100 points above or what 100 points below, because we are not there. So at the moment, what is important? And this is some way how I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
And of course, you can use also swing trading levels. So that's also why MentorQ is really helpful for you. Because, and Fabi, do you remember when we getting the people and they saying, hey, there are no more levels, so we're out of levels.
Yeah.
So basically, if you're trading NQ and you're using the NQ futures gamma levels on based on end of the day, sometimes when we're having crazy moves in the market because of the president, because of tariffs, because of whatever, the market is going crazy and run out of levels, and you see no charts on your level anymore. So what are people saying? Hey, why we have no more levels? But guys, on MentorQ, you have so many opportunities. First, you have the blind spots. So you can plot blind spots and see, are there some blind spots? You can plot swing trading levels. Are the swing trading levels in the play? And that's something what you should be always take care of and you should always use. And also, at the end of the day, you have the intraday levels.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, and I think also like you can use those. You can use all the option metrics. Of course, the levels are really simplifying all the other analytics that we have. But also another thing that we now have is also the Q score. So just also, guys, very very important. These four scores are very very key, and understanding how they can impact your asset would be very very important. Like I just want to give you an example. Let's look at Nvidia, right? Everybody's looking at Nvidia. We are in a very very bullish market. Take a look at what happened when Nvidia a few months ago was very low on the option side, and suddenly we kind of went positive again. This was a move, a 60% move in less than 2 months, right? So this was a very good use case that highlight the importance of not only focusing on just the lines that you see on the chart, but also look at the other data points that we offer, because there's a very, very strong things that you can use to potentially get an idea where the price can go.
Yep, that's a good point.
Yeah, so let us know, guys, if we have questions. But essentially, we wanted to develop, or we wanted to do this session to kind of like highlight some of the doubts around blind spots, how to use them, why are they relevant. The Forex blind spots are the 2.0. In the next few months, there's going to be a lot of new functionality coming for equity traders. So if you are trading the equity side, we're going to develop more and more things. And one of the things that we are also developing are blind spots levels for stocks. Like, so if you trade NVIDIA, you will actually have access to blind spots level on stocks. Right now, another thing that you can do is you can easily convert basically the blind spots level on any asset. So if you wanted to plot SPX blind spots on NVIDIA, you can very easily do it on the indicator. So again, I'm leveraging the power of the indicator. And again, this reaction at SPX was very, very strong reaction for NVIDIA. And then we can see it here.
Yeah, I think it's a good job. I think it should be now clear what are the blind spots, how you can use it. And trust me, it will be help you so much. And I'm not an options trader, and everyone knows that I'm not an options trader. I'm a futures trader who trading 99% of my time, only NQ. And if I was joining the first time the options world, it was 5 years before, where I was taking advantage of all the gamma exposure, delta, and all this crazy stuff. But I think, Fabio, I was telling the story many times. I will tell this again. First, I was signed up for some tool who helps me to get information about gamma exposure, delta, all this stuff. But I was never understanding this, and it was so complicated for me. And you know what I was doing? I was canceling my subscription. Then I was meet my mentor, because my mentor was using this. He was saying, Patrick, you should use this. Give them a second try. I was doing this again, and trust me, I was never understanding what they're doing, because all the mathematical stuff, and I was only a futures trader, and my goal was, hey, how can I become as a futures trader better? I won't be only become 1% better, but how this tool can help me. And I was canceling again because I was not getting this. But then I give them a last try, and this was the third one. And in this moment, I was understanding options traders be options traders. They're having a different view about the options market. But I'm a futures trader, and I should make the best out of the options world, the gamma levels, delta, for me as futures traders. And that's why I'm thinking the blind spot's so helpful, because that's something from my experience, what I get in the last 5 years about options, to simplify everything. Why simplifying? And I will be giving you the answer again, because with the blind spots, you see now what gamma levels are really important now, and you can backtest this, because blind spots supporting the gamma levels. And if you're doing the backtest, we're giving you all the data. It's in your dashboard. You can see what I was observing. And if I would have this information 5 years ago, I would become much better in my entries, in my exit, in my risk management. And this is something what I was getting out from this. That's maybe the only reason why blind spots is really cool for you, because now you understand as futures traders, as forex traders, as crypto trader, not as options trader, what gamma levels are really important for you and where you should looking for. And that's the point.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. I think, yeah, guys, I hope this session was helpful. And again, if you have any questions, please let us know. Send us an email at info@mentorq.com. We're going to have a series of sessions this week. We're going to have 2 tomorrow with Patrick, and then another more on Friday. On Friday, we're going to look at price action live in the market. Also, if you decide to join today, you can join our live trading pro session next week. So we'll send an email out for next week. But yeah, I don't know, Patrick, if there's anything else you want to add there on what we do in pro, but I think, yeah, that it was a great session.
Yeah, so we're doing many stuff in this. I will not so promote this, because the success will speak for itself. The only thing what I want to tell you is, if you want sign up with MentorQ, no matter if you sign up for premium or if you sign up for pro. If you sign up for the premium, you will get automatically 7-day access for the pro room. And then look into the pro room, what we're doing, how we can help you, and then make your own thoughts about this. Because in the pro room, we are our private desk. So we have open mic. We support each other. If you have any questions, I will answer this. You can see how I'm trading. There, everything is transparent. And if you be in the market and you have some trouble to read something, maybe the gamma levels, maybe the blind spots, we are here to help you. And we explain you in a really simple way how you can use this on your trading strategy. And how you can connect maybe your A+ setups with MenthorQ, all the stuff we were doing in the pro room. But again, Fabio, I don't want to promote this so much because I think there are so many value in the pro. If you sign up for the pro, this will be at the moment also on discount. The only thing what I can promise to you is you will never be asked for a refund if you be on the pro. So if you will take the gun and you're not happy, you can ask Fabio, of course, for a refund. But I will promise you, you will be happy. If you want only MenthorQ Premium, you will get automatically 7-day access. So that's the deal. And everything will speak for itself.
Yeah, and then I think before we leave, there's a very good question here that I think I can answer, and then you can also add, Patrick. So with all these levels, how does it help with risk management, and can you give an example? So yeah, very good question, and thank you for that. So let's imagine that we're going on MenthorQ here, and let's imagine that let's take away this level. So let's imagine that you are using traditional technical analysis, and you basically, let's say that this is your resistance area. So let's imagine that you go long on this area here. This is your trade idea, breaking support or breaking resistance, and then I go long. The question now is, how do you then, where do you define to take profit, or where do you define to exit? So now you have an interesting area that could become a reaction. So obviously we went through here, but it could become a strong reaction. Similar to the opposite side, if you were on a short trade here, where is your next target and where can you place your stop? So again, the blind spot level, the gamma levels can help you really to define those areas right there. And I don't know if you have anything to add there.
Yes, of course. And so as I was saying, when it comes to the risk management, it will be always the same principle for you. So you can connect now the dots. So what I mean with connecting the dots, think about you need some support from the market for your entry. And now, if you would be going long above GEX1, above BL3, above high wall and high wall 0 DT. So basically, you can put your stop loss below BL3, below GEX1, below high wall 0 DT. And you can become a bit more comfortable in your position. Because the market have first going through GEX1, BL3, high wall 0 DT, and that's not so easy. And this is something where you can become better on your risk management. You know where you can put your stop loss, for example. And also we can speak about the targets. So we have 1-day min, we have 1-day max. Fabi was talking about this very, very often. But also remember what we were saying before, blind spots supporting the gamma levels. Now think about you go long on GEX3. You be more on position trader. You're trading maybe 1 MNQ, only for example. So you say, okay, Patrick, I like the long. I go no long on GEX3. I put my stop loss, as you said, below GEX1, BL3, high was UDT. Boom, you place your stop loss there, and you target BL7, call resistance, 0 DT. Would be a really good trade today, right? Let's don't speak about risk and reward, but this is how you can do it, and how you can become better in your entries, in your exit, and in your targeting.
Yeah, and maybe
I hope
Patrick,
this helped you.
I was on a live session before, and we were looking at these examples on how you can also use the 1-day max and 1-day min. This was a very interesting example on MenthorQ during the day or just before the day that Trump announced the tariffs on April 2nd. These are actually, so you guys can go in and see the levels for the day, but this is basically the market dropped all the way to the 1-day minimum. Then there was some strong reaction for the day. We went all the way to the 1-day max, and then we dropped back. So again, if you're thinking on a reversal trade, 1-day mean could have been a great entry point. Even if you don't take the 1-day mean itself, you can look at the put support, and then your target area could have been the 1-day max. And then we see the same happening on the same day on ES here. So those were other two examples that can be used as reference as well.
Yes. And RX Geo, so that's also a really good question, what we very often get in the pro room. And I'm more than happy to help you. Maybe if you sign up for the premium, you get 7-day entry, or you sign up for the pro, whatever. I will more than happy to help you during the market conditions so that we can discuss this together. Because when we're going in real-time market condition, and maybe when the market will be open, then we can discuss this, and then let's take a look into this together, how this can help you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also with open mic, you can have anytime open mic. You can ask any question what you have, and then trust me, it needs 2, maximum 3 days, and you get the point.
Thank you, Patrick. So I think, yeah, guys, let us know if you have more questions. Again, reach out to us at info@mentorq.com. And then again, we're going to be live back with Patrick tomorrow and on Friday. So please don't miss that. Every session is available via YouTube. So just come to our live. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. This would really help us a lot. And then you can be alerted every time there is a new video or a new live session. So we're going to be live tomorrow, and we're going to be live again on Friday. So a lot of things happening this week. So stay tuned, guys, and see you very soon. Thank you, Patrick.
Yeah, welcome, and thank you for your time. Thank you for joining this event, and I hope we was covering everything. If you have questions, okay, feel absolutely free. Reach out to Fabio, info@mentorq.com. Or if you have a special question for me, send this also to Fabio and write that he will forward this message to me. More than happy to help you to understand our concept much better. And guys, so my concept is make it as simple as possible. And I will try to help you on the best way that you understand this in a way where maybe not mathematically, but that you get the point. So thank you, guys.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.